Hey guys, this is me Akshara, and as you know, I've only been posting origami videos, and today, but it's gonna be a little bit different today. It's going to be, drumroll please, a reading session. So basically, I'll be just taking some book and I will be reading one chapter of it every day. So today, we're going to be reading the one and only Charlotte's Web. As you know, this is a very famous book and everyone in this world loves it. Well, some people don't, but yeah. But the main part is that we're going to be reading this famous book. Mostly lots love this, and they've also made a movie about it. So yeah, we're going to read the first chapter about it. Let's start. So the chapters are Before Breakfast is the first chapter, the second one is Wilbur, the third is Escape, fourth Loneliness, fifth Charlotte, sixth Summer Days, seventh Bad News, eighth A Talk at Home, ninth Wilbur's Boast, 10th An Explosion, 11th A Miracle, 12th A Meeting, 13th Good Progress, 14th Dr. Dorian, 15th The Crickets, 16th Off to the Fair, 17th Uncle, 18th The Cool of the Evening, 19th Egg Sack, 20th The Hour of Triumph, 21 Last Day, 22 A Warm Wind. So we're going to be reading Before Breakfast, which is this chapter. "Where's Papa going with that axe?" said Fern to her mother as they were setting the table for breakfast. "Out to the hog house," replied Mrs. Arable. "Some pigs were born last night. I don't see why he needs an axe," continued Fern, who was only 8. "Well," said her mother, "one of the pigs is a runt. It's very small and weak, and it will never amount to anything. So your father has decided to do away with it." "Do away with it?" shrieked Fern. "You mean kill it? Just because it's smaller than the others?" Mrs. Arable put a pitcher of cream on the table. "Don't yell, Fern," she said. "Your father is right. The pig would probably die anyway." Fern pushed her chair out of the way and ran outdoors. The grass was wet and the earth smelled of springtime. Fern's sneakers were sopping by the time she caught up with her father. "Please don't kill it," she sobbed. "It's unfair." Mr. Arable stopped walking. "Fern," he said gently, "you will have to learn to control yourself." "Control myself?" yelled Fern. "This is a matter of life and death, and you talk about controlling myself?" Tears ran down her cheeks, and she took a hold of the axe and tried to pull it out of her father's hand. "Fern," said Mr. Arable, "I know more about raising a litter of pigs than you do. A weakling makes trouble. Now run along." "But it's unfair," cried Fern. "The pig couldn't help being born so small, could it? If I had been very small at birth, would you have killed me?" Mr. Arable smiled. "Certainly not," he said, looking down at his daughter with love. "But this is different. A little girl is one thing. A little grunty pig is another." "I see no difference," replied Fern, still hanging onto the axe. "This is the most terrible case of injustice I've ever heard of." A queer look came over John Arable's face. He seemed almost ready to cry himself. "All right," he said, "you go back to the house, and I will bring the runt when I come in. I'll let you raise it on a bottle like a baby. Then you will see what trouble a pig can be." When Mr. Arable returned to the house, half an hour later, he carried a carton under his arm. Fern was upstairs changing her sneakers. The kitchen table was set for breakfast, and the room smelt of coffee, bacon, damp plaster, and wood smoke from the stove. Put it, put it on a chair, said Mrs. Arable. Mr. Arable set the carton down at Fern's place. Then he walked to the sink and washed his hands and dried them on the roller towel. Fern came slowly down the stairs. Her eyes were red from crying. As she approached her chair, the curtain wobbled, and there was a scratching noise. Fern looked at her father, then she lifted the lid of the curtain. There, inside, looking up at her, was the newborn pig. It was a white one. The morning light shone through its ears, turning them pink. "He's yours," said Mr. Arable, "saved from an untimely death. And may the good Lord forgive me for this foolishness." Fern couldn't take her eyes off the tiny pig. "Oh," she whispered. "Oh, look at him. He's absolutely perfect." She closed the curtain. First she kissed her father, then she kissed her mother, then she opened the lid again, lifted the pig out and held it against her cheek. At this moment her brother Avery came out into the room. Avery was 10. He was heavily armed, an air rifle in one hand, a wooden dagger in the other. Okay, so this is Avery. As you can see, he's holding a gun. "What's that?" he demanded. "What's Fern got?" "She's got a guest for breakfast," said Mrs. Arable. "Wash your hands and face, Avery." "Let's see it," said Avery, setting his gun down. "You call that a miserable thing? A pig? That's a fine specimen of a pig. It's no bigger than a white rat." "Wash up and eat your breakfast, Avery," said his mother. "The school bus will be along in half an hour." "Can I have a pig too, Pop?" said Avery. "No, I only distribute pigs to early risers," said Mr. Arable. Fern was up at daylight, trying to rid the world of injustice. As a result, she now has a pig. A small one, to be sure, but nevertheless a pig. It just shows what can happen if a person gets out of bed promptly. "Let's eat." But Fern couldn't eat until her pig had a drink of milk. Mr. Arable found a baby's nursing bottle and a rubber nipple. She poured warm milk into the bottle, fitted the nipple over the top, and handed it to Fern. "Give him his breakfast," she said. A minute later, Fern was seated on the floor, in the corner of the kitchen, with her infant between her knees, teaching it to suck from the bottle. The pig, although tiny, had a good appetite and caught on quickly. The school bus honked from the road. "Run!" commanded Mrs. Arable, taking the pig from Fern and slipping a donut into her hand. Avery grabbed his gun and another donut. The children ran out to the road and climbed into the bus. Fern took no notice of the others in the bus. She just sat and stared out of the window, thinking what a blissful world it was and how lucky she was to have entire charge of a pig. By the time the bus reached school, Fern had named her pet, selecting the most beautiful name she could think of. "Its name is Wilbur," she whispered to herself. She was still thinking about the pig when the teacher said, "Fern, what is the capital of Pennsylvania?" Wilbur replied. "Wilbur," replied Fern dreamily. The pupils giggled. Fern blushed. So I hope you liked the first chapter of this book. So basically, I think I like the first chapter, and the pig sounds so cute. So, but for what the teacher asked, what do you think is the capital of Pennsylvania? What do you think it is? I don't know. I'm gonna tell the answer of what that at the next one. If you get it right, good job. If you don't, it's fine. You can try again later. So yeah, that was the first chapter of Charlotte's Web. I hope you liked it. Well, I did. So yes. Bye, and see you on my next video where we'll be reading the next chapter of Charlotte's Web. Bye!